here's your drop down bed over top of your driver and passenger seat. Now, see how it's settled a little bit? The first thing that we want to do before we operate this bed is we open this up, and inside here there's a key. Just turn the key to on, and then you actually want to go up with it first, so just hit raise. Okay? The reason we have to raise it is because over here on either corner, if you look up in here, there's travel pins that we have to pop out. Okay? And that's on both sides. And over here, this one lost its connection to the cord, but you'll notice that it's just super easy to get to. Coming back over here, now that we're done, there's a couple more things that we have to do. Because this is a raised platform down here, because we come up about 6 inches, we actually have to lean these seats back in order to drop this bed down all the way. So we'll go ahead and lean them back on either side. And then we're ready to drop the bed down. So just come back over here to the control panel and then just hit lower. Just like with the slide out, you want to be plugged into shore power, or you want to have the generator running when you do this, because again, it's pretty heavy. You need that extra little bit of oomph to get it up and down. Okay. We always go all the way down or all the way up. We never go halfway down when we're utilizing this drop down bed. All right, take the ladder out of here, put it into the slots, and there you go. All right, my kids love this one. This is the one that they fight over the most. They fight over it more than the twin beds, but a lot of people love this bed because it's up and out of the way. This is the bed, along with the bunk beds, that people utilize the most, because the dinette and the couch that will go over here tend to get in the way of everything. So people, if you have to, obviously you can use these other beds, but these are the beds that people tend to use the most, because in the morning you would have to actually put the couch and the dinette back in order to do anything in the morning. All right, you're done with the bed, you're ready to go. What you do is you come back over to the control panel, just hit raise, come all the way up. And I always get in a habit, whenever I'm done, whenever I raise this bed up, even if I'm not going anywhere, I always get in a habit of putting those travel pins back into place. The primary reason for that, and that can happen too, I'll show you what happened here in just a second. The primary reason for that is if you don't have those travel pins while you're driving, this bed will slowly start sinking as you're hitting bumps and stuff like that. So this end will drop down further than this end, and then when you go to drop the bed down, it's going to come down crooked, and then you're going to be pushing on it, trying to get it back into place. That little pop you heard was the seat belt here. It got jammed up in the frame. So you want to make sure that this seat belt is low as possible. That way it's down below the bed. Again, I always get in a habit of putting those travel pins back into place whenever I'm done. All right, just slide those back in, put those back in there like that, grab the other one and pop it back in there like that. Okay. Now, this is something that I like to do. You're not required to do this, but this is something that I like to do. Sometimes those travel pins can rattle out just because they're a little bit loose in there. So I actually hit the lower button on the bed for just a second and then let go. Just puts a little bit of pressure on those pins, so that way they don't pop out. Now, if you look over here, right here, we had to lower this down. We had to lower, in order to move the bed down, we had to lean that seat back. Now, if you notice, this seat is in direct line with that trim piece. So before you bring that slide out back in, you have to lean the seat forward, because this seat is strong enough to prevent this corner from sliding back in. So you have to move this seat forward far enough so that way the trim piece doesn't hit the headrest. And you notice, if you look at these little cuts, this is what happens. okay? It'll just rub that, or if it's back far enough, it'll physically stop that wall from coming in. The back corner will keep trying to come in, this corner will stop, and then you're in a whole world of hurt, because what'll happen then is now you gotta, after you put this forward, you have to go out there and be pushing on the slide out in order to get it to come back in straight. So just make sure that this seat is leaned all the way forward, or just enough out of the way of the trim.